It's such a massive, beautiful stadium as well. You know, the crowd isn't exactly what we might have expected, but there's still going to be 40,000 people here this evening. A lot of children as well, encouraging a lot of youngsters to come along and see such fine talent as we're going to see tonight.
Yes, the Italian FA have very generously allowed plenty of underprivileged and handicapped children from Rome and the surrounding area to enter the Olympic Stadium for free tonight to see some of the names that they could only have dreamed about watching play football in the flesh. Let's run through that World Stars 11 starting lineup in full then. Gianluca Pagliuca, David Nayafi, Aaron Vinter, Dunga, Fernando Hierro, 𝙎𝙬𝙎, Ronaldo, Zinedine Zidane, Gabriel Batistuta, Zimorea and Rui Costa. Those are the players that start the game. As for Italy, well, Angelo Peruzzi in goal. At number 2, Christian Panucci. 4 is Dino Baggio. 5, Fabio Cannavaro. 6, the skipper, Paolo Maldini. 7, Diego Fuser. 8, Demetrio Albertini. 9, Juventus striker, Filippo Inzaghi. 10 is Francesco Totti, the informed striker from AS Roma. 11, his Roma colleague Eusebio Di Francesco. And 13, a player who plays his football in the Olympic Stadium here, but with Lazio, that's Alessandro Nesta. On the bench, some more familiar Italian names: Gianluigi Buffon, the reserve goalkeeper, Pesotto, Negro, Torricelli, Bacchini, Cois, Tomasi, Chiesa and Del Vecchio. And we've got French officials for this celebratory night. The referee is Monsieur Rémi Arel. Great roars greet the Italian national anthem. Just looking at the faces of the Italian players, you can see that quite a few of them are treating this as more than just a training exercise. Seriously, they're going to try and put themselves in the frame for a regular place in Dino's starting lineup with some very important Euro 2000 qualifying matches coming up in the new year. Italy's next game comes on the 27th of March. They're away to Denmark. They then entertain Belarus on the 31st of March, just 4 days later. And then they have to wait until June of '99 for a home fixture against Wales. The dignitaries trot their way down the line, shaking hands with that amazing lineup of talent that is the FIFA World Stars 11. And an Italian in there, Gianluca Pagliuca. He must feel a little out of place, and if anybody else feels out of place, it must be the number 3, Trevor, the South African fullback David Nayafi. No disrespect to him, but the Cagliari fullback hardly fits in with that sort of team.
Yeah, he'll just be enjoying the night, surely, and he may actually feel a little bit intimidated, you're right, with the company that he's keeping this evening. But as you look along the line, it's an absolutely wonderful lineup, and Mr. Sepp Blatter there being introduced to the sides.
Having said that about Nayafi, he played in the World Cup. There is one player in the starting lineup for the World Stars who wasn't present at France '98, and that was former World Player of the Year 𝙎𝙬𝙎, so that's not a bad player to have without World Cup experience. Hidetoshi Nakata on the bench was with the World Cup with Japan. Ike Shirunmu, Nigerian reserve goalkeeper, plays his football in Switzerland with FC Zurich. He's on the bench as well as Oliver Bierhoff, João Pinto, Marcelo Salas, Davor Suker, and the white-toothed Mexican Hernandez, who scored 4 goals during France '98. Italy then are going to be in their traditional blue shirts. Angelo Peruzzi gets stripped off and ready for action. The World 11, all in white. finally the pitch is clear of school children and dignitaries and ball boys and the marching band, and in a few moments' time we'll be able to get on with beginning the celebrations for 100 years of the Italian Football Federation. If you were just wondering who those names were we were mentioning at the top of the programme, though, the English gentleman Alfred Edwards and Dr. James Spensley, well, very much an English origin to the game in Italy. And the Milan Cricket and Football Club was formed in 1899 by Englishman Alfred Edwards. 9 years later, an Italian and Swiss rebel faction broke away to form Internazionale, and the Genoa Cricket and Athletic Club formed in 1893. That was by Dr. James Spensley, originally a club solely for English expats. And amazing that a game that was so foreign to Italy when it was first brought over has caught on. I don't think there's anywhere else in Europe, Trevor, where it's as much a religion as it is here.
Well, we've spent the day, haven't we, Guy, on the streets of Rome, having a good look around, and you can
finally get the action underway. Italy attacking from left to right in the first half, and a bit of pace shown very early on by Maldini. Looking into the centre towards Inzaghi. First firework of the evening, and the first touch for Pagliuca, the sole Italian in the World Stars side.
Well, it's nice to see, Guy, that the rest of the world team has been picked in a very attacking mode. We've actually only got two real defenders on the field for them, with 𝙎𝙆𝙀 and 𝙎𝙆𝙀. Apart from that, you've got a mixture. Apart from Dunga, who's a defensive midfield player, there's no out-and-out defenders at all. So we've got a team of real quality, attacking quality for sure.
Even defenders like Fernando 𝙎𝙆𝙀 are known to like to get forward on more than the odd occasion. Flicked out by Rui Costa. Now here's Vinta. Used to be a favourite in the Olympic Stadium with Lazio, now playing his football with Inter Milan, but can well remember the battles he had with the German Thomas Doll and England's Paul Gascoigne for a place in the Lazio midfield. Here's Weah. Niati. Wayward ball from the South African. Break on perhaps now. Totti. Well, setting his sights early. Francesco Totti. Not on target this time, but we're just grateful for an early shot to spark some life into the crowd.
Yeah, definitely. It's so quiet, isn't it? But I think we should be getting a lot of opportunities like that. Describing the defensive situation with the rest of the world team, and it is very scattered, to say the least. I would expect Totti and Inzaghi up front for the Italians to get plenty room to manoeuvre.
Fuser will leave the throw for Christian Panucci. Now Dino Baggio. All the way back towards Nesta. Another native of Rome in football terms, the Lazio defender. Maldini now. Di Francesco. Once more it's the skipper Maldini. Di Francesco in the centre along with Inzaghi. And it's the blue shirts of Italy having all the possession in the early stages. Christian Panucci, a rarity in Italian terms in that he of course plays his football abroad in Spain with Real Madrid. Once again involved with the throw to Totti. And Fuser wanted the return. Aaron Vinta got in the way. And then puts it out of play for another Christian Panucci throw. Comfortably cut out by Dunga. Again the Brazilian with the challenge. Now Zidane. Wayward ball from Ronaldo. And almost won back for the World Stars 11 by Zé Maria. Play interrupted by first blast on the whistle from referee Monsieur Arel. Niati. First real spell of possession that the World Stars have managed. don't know how many games like this you've played in, Trevor, but how difficult is it to gel instantly, having only come together yesterday as a group, and try and play as a team? I should think with all this talent on show, that will be the most difficult job for the temporary coaches.
Yeah, it will be difficult, but it's not that important that they gel together. You know, as long as they try to play and are adventurous. And we do want to see some tackling. We haven't seen any tackles as yet, and I think that is indicative of a friendly match such as this. But we're hoping to see skill and a few incidents and accidents along the way.
One thing we do hope is that it doesn't generate into farce and finish something like 6-6 with goalkeepers coming forward to wander down the field and score. You never know, we might be praying for that a little later on unless things liven up. Totti going for his second shot of the night. And he's doing more than anybody to try and spark some life into the occasion. Two shots in anger from Francesco Totti, and the second one much closer and much more fiercely struck than the first. Good interplay there between 𝙎𝙬 and Ronaldo. Now Ronaldo again. Getting lucky with a deflection, 𝙎𝙬. Well, gradually we're seeing an increase in pace. Here's Bonucci. Inzaghi couldn't take it in his stride. The challenge from behind was from Niati. Here's the party stuff beginning from two world players of the year, 𝙎𝙬 and Ronaldo.
I think those two are going to encourage each other all through the game, aren't they? See who can do the cleverest flick.
Almost a case of anything you can do, I can do better from those two tonight. Batistuta alongside them isn't that sort of player. He will just rely on putting the goals in, whether it be from 6 yards or, well, I suppose his limit is about 10 yards. The master poacher. 𝙎𝙬. Batistuta challenged well by Bonucci. In a game like this, you're always going to be starved of atmosphere until the trick stuff starts, simply because a lot of supporters will be wondering just who they want to cheer.
Still quite a good exercise though for the Italian team. With Dino Zoff picking literally a full-strength side. It's good exercise and team pattern, team play, linking up of players with literally no pressure on them whatsoever. So it's a rare occasion.
Maldini moving it forward to Dino Baggio. Now Francesco Totti. Are we going to have shot number 3? This time couldn't find a way through. 𝙎𝙬 has found a way through to Di Francesco. Now Totti. Maldini. Inzaghi calling for it, right edge of the 6-yard box. Nearly broke again to Di Francesco. Now it's Zidane. Ronaldo, seemingly cured of the mental problems and illness that caused such headlines towards the end of France '98, on the final day itself, the day of French triumph in the World Cup final. But he isn't completely clear of what he has described himself as chronic knee problems, and only used sparingly by Inter Milan so far this season. That's a trend that may well continue. As another shot drifts harmlessly wide of Pagliuca's goal. Dino Zoff doesn't look too happy with his side in the early stages. It's a chance for the coaches to sit back and analyse without putting too much stress on the heart, I suppose. Ball played out by Maldini, so Bonucci can receive treatment. Just talking about Ronaldo, Trevor, there is a school of thought that having started at such a high level of football at the age of 16, it may be a burnout sort of factor creeping into him already. As we said, already used sparingly by Inter Milan to try and ease that knee problem.
Yeah, that is vital. I think it's important that the coaches realise the stresses and strains that the top players are under. And of course, with the World Cup in the summer as well, it's made this season almost seem longer than it is already. So Inter are doing the right thing, just using them sparingly, and that's the best way to go, I'm sure, for the long-term future of Ronaldo.
Here's Albertini looking for Inzaghi. Goal number 1. be just a friendly, but that goal meant quite a lot to Filippo Inzaghi. It's livened up the Olympic Stadium, and it was really well taken on the volley.
Well, he's got to pick holes all night, I think, between 𝙎𝙬𝙎 and David 𝙎𝙬𝙎. There he just pulled off 𝙎𝙎𝙎. That was a good ball in from the left-hand side. David 𝙎𝙎𝙎's right under that one. Inzaghi just pulled off him. He could have taken 2 touches, but his first touch was brilliant. And that's a great finish, and certainly has livened up the occasion.
You can see there 𝙎𝙎𝙎 playing Inzaghi onside, left in no man's land by the excellent cross of Dimitri Albertini. And Inzaghi did the rest, off the underside of the bar. No chance for 𝙎𝙬𝙎. And Italy have got a bit of a spring in their step now. Here's Di Francesco. Again, it's Inzaghi hovering around the edge of the area. Totti comes wide to support. Again, it's aimed towards the number 9. This time 𝙎𝙬𝙎 reacted really well. Well, Filippo Inzaghi, with his first 2 touches of the game, has scored 1 goal. Been denied by his Italian national teammate 𝙎𝙬𝙎 for another. And 𝙎𝙬𝙎 received a bit of a knock in the process. Looks as though he's going to continue, though.
Yeah, that was absolutely fabulous save there. As we saw again, Totti puts that ball in just as Albertini had done previously for Inzaghi's goal. Swing it in towards the goal, and Inzaghi got connection on it, but 𝙎𝙬𝙎 saved the blushes of his side there.
Still holding that wrist, 𝙎𝙬𝙎, as Ronaldo shows his party tricks, looking for Zidane. Great challenge, really good defending from Nesta, and that's warmly applauded by the Lazio fans in the crowd. Ronaldo again looking for Batistuta. Peruzzi will watch that out, and Batistuta yet to touch the ball this evening. Now breaking away, but denied by 𝙎𝙬𝙎. It was a good little run from Inzaghi again as we look back at the replay of the goal.
Well, I did say before the game that this defence worries me somewhat. The rest of the world defence is literally non-existent.
All wanting to move forward. They're showing that here. Only 𝙎𝙎𝙎 has stayed back in his own half. Batistuta thought about the shot. Now it's Jose Maria. And cut out at the near post. A cross not too effective from Aron Winter. Away by Maldini. Again Inzaghi just pulling away from 𝙎𝙎𝙎. Dino Baggio. Di Francesco crowded out. Breaks towards 𝙎𝙎𝙎 again. The flag up this time against Inzaghi. Didn't reach him in any case. 𝙎𝙎𝙎, another ex-Lazio man, enjoying his football with Parma. Makes a really good midfield combination towards the right-hand side of the field with Dino Baggio. Here's Rui Costa looking towards Ronaldo. Ronaldo's just starting to liven up and get himself into this game.
There's no way the Italian defence will want to be embarrassed by Ronaldo or Batistuta, and we'll see Cannavaro and Nesta keeping tight rein as much as they possibly can. Totally opposite to the rest of the world defence.
There's Maldini. Now Totti. 𝙎𝙎𝙎 lets the ball run to Panucci. 4 in the centre. And 𝙎𝙎𝙎 is the big Spaniard who gets it away. When we say rest of the world, it really is picked from all across Europe, South America and Africa. And some defending to do here for the South African 𝙎𝙎𝙎. And some more treatment needed on the field as 𝙎𝙎𝙎 made contact with the back of the head of Filippo Inzaghi. There's some record that we just saw on the screen. 91 Serie A appearances, 44 goals. A goal every other game is a decent record for a striker in any standard of football. But in Italy, where goals are notoriously hard to come by, that really is excellent striking.
It really is. His movement is exceptional as well, Inzaghi. I'm sure David 𝙎𝙎𝙎's finding that difficult to cope with, and I'm sure he'll be handing him over to Fernando 𝙎𝙎 before too long.
Inzaghi pulls wide this time. Totti in the centre. Di Francesco moving forward now. Still Inzaghi. And 𝙎𝙎's clearance finds Zidane. Great ball from Zidane. Here's Ronaldo now. Really good goalkeeping from Peruzzi. Still Ronaldo. Then goes down. And he gets the free kick. Maldini quick to help up the Brazilian superstar. That was good work from Peruzzi in goal. Ronaldo trying to clip it over the advancing keeper. Suspicion of offside as the ball was played?
I thought it was offside, but I think, it's a friendly game after all. There's nothing lost. Let him have it. Good save there from Peruzzi. Second challenge there coming in from Maldini, and obviously Ronaldo fouled there. Just missed his opportunity in that lob.
Just looking back at the replay, suspicion of offside against Ronaldo. I'm just thinking if there's a suspicion of handball against Peruzzi just outside his area, as he blocked the attempted chip. Nevertheless, it will be a free kick now to the World 11. It's going to be Batistuta, leaves it for 𝙎𝙎, and Peruzzi plucks it out of the air by the top corner, because that was where that was bound from Fernando 𝙎𝙎. And 𝙎𝙎 there with a clever touch at the back to bring Dunga into play. 𝙎𝙎 denied by Nesta. 𝙎𝙎. 𝙎𝙎. And towards Inzaghi. 𝙎𝙎 and 𝙎𝙎 leave it for Paliuca. And here's the free kick again. 𝙎𝙎. Well, I think he'd put that in just about the right position. Not enough pace on it to trouble Peruzzi. With free kicks in those sort of areas, though, and all the talent on show in the World Stars 11, I would think they'll be queuing up to take the next one.
Well, I think so. 𝙎𝙎's had his one attempt. I think he'll now pass it on to one of the other three, who I think will be queuing up next time round.
Here's Di Francesco for Italy.
Quite a nice balance about the Italian team at the moment. They're playing literally to a 4-4-2 system. 𝙎𝙎, I think, on the right hand side gives them good balance. 𝙎𝙎 in the middle. Dino 𝙎𝙎 gives them that rock solidness. And of course, I think that one of the strong points of the Italian team is the central defenders, Cannavaro and Nesta. I don't think you're going to find a better combination across Europe.
Here's 𝙎𝙎, former teammate of Nesta, current teammate of Cannavaro. Now a cross coming in from Panucci, the teammate of 𝙎𝙎 at Real Madrid, and didn't trouble him with that particular cross. It remains Italy 1, the World Stars 11 0. Filippo Inzaghi, the goal scorer. Away from Zé Maria. Back it will come through Paolo Maldini. Inzaghi still hovering around the edge of that World Stars 11 penalty area, being policed still by David 𝙎𝙎. And there's Dunga, can hardly waste the ball, bringing in Zé Maria, and now Rui Costa. Back to 𝙎𝙎. Vinta finds Ronaldo. Room for Ronaldo to move into, and he does that at pace, and then looks for the free kick, and the French referee decides not to oblige him this time, and straight into the back of Cannavaro. Something Ronaldo is particularly adept at doing. Just stops dead in his tracks, hold his hands up, and so many times he gets the free kick, but it's by no means cheating. He takes it to an art form. Seems to be able to get into those positions to get the free kicks that so many other players can't do. Panucci is looking for 𝙎𝙎 there, cut out by 𝙎𝙎. Now Zidane, getting himself in a tangle. 𝙎𝙎. Batistuta lets it drop. A goal a game in Serie A this season, Gabriel Batistuta. 13 in 13 for table-topping Fiorentina. Weah now looks for Ronaldo. Beautiful ball clipped over from the Liberian to the Brazilian. He couldn't make the most of it.
That was a wonderful, delicate touch, wasn't it, there from George Weah? Just trying to get himself involved in the game, and perfectly timed run there from Ronaldo, and just couldn't quite make it with his left foot there.
Clearance from 𝙎𝙬𝙎𝘍 now. Not claimed by Batistuta. Here's Panucci. Dino Baggio. Now Totti looking for Inzaghi. That's a great pass. Inzaghi. Great save as well from 𝙎𝙬𝙎𝘍. Doesn't want to be beaten by the Juventus striker a second time. He's already made one good save from him. That one was just as good. But the main talking point of the Italian move forward was the pass from Totti.
Good vision from Totti. Yet again Inzaghi giving him that option. Just getting between two defenders and always running towards goal as well, which is where the main threat is.
Here's Ronaldo. End-to-end stuff at the moment. Zidane has found Batistuta. Must score. Oh, and he does so emphatically. Doesn't matter if it's a friendly game or a top-of-the-range international. Batistuta is deadly from anywhere around the penalty area. It was a great ball from Zidane. Wrong-footed the defence. Almost looked to have mishit it at first. But he knew exactly where Batistuta was, and he needed no second invitation.
Oh, magnificent goal, absolutely magnificent. Zidane, the ball was almost under his feet, but still made the pass. I thought Batistuta might drag the ball across to the goalkeeper's left, but no, if he was going to score at the near post, that was the only place he could put it, and he put it there with venom.
Where would you rank him, Trevor, in terms of out-and-out goal poachers? He must be just about, certainly in the top three in the world.
I think he's far more than a goal poacher. I mean, he scores goals like that. That's not poaching a goal, that's clinical finishing. But he can do the poaching as well. I think out-and-out, as far as out-and-out quality strikers are concerned at the moment, I think he's got to be number one. Ronaldo's not at the peak of his form. And I think that's slightly different in their qualities anyway. I suppose if Ronaldo was on top form, he would be the number one player in the world.
Well, given away, and a chance for Batistuta to score number 2 of the evening. That was certainly not poaching. He was denied anyway by Peruzzi. A strike from 20 yards, kept out. And amazing what a goal can do to a striker like Batistuta again. Finding his bounce and zest for the game. It was a mistake by Cannavaro that very nearly let in the Argentinian. Vinter away, bundles his way through a couple of challenges. 3-on-3 now. Ronaldo is the man in the middle. Still Ronaldo. Oh, it's a great piece of skill. Just behind Batistuta. Weah's there. Magnificent stuff from Ronaldo. George Weah with the finish. Well, we're getting the goals that we wanted. And even more pleasing, we're getting them with real style. How about this from the brilliant Brazilian?
Cannavaro made one mistake. He let Ronaldo pick up the ball and run at him, and he left him for dead. George Weah's done well there to get in on the end of it. But the damage had already been done there. Ronaldo allowed to run at Cannavaro. Cannavaro is one of the best defenders in the world, yet Ronaldo's made him look so ordinary. The ball's ricocheted to George Weah. Maldini couldn't deal with it. And that's all that George Weah needed. Just a fraction of a second. And that gives the rest of the world the lead.
Italy coming back strongly. It will break here towards 𝙎𝙬𝙎𝘍. Now Maldini with the header. And away by José Maria, guarding the post. Corner for the Italians. Totti, and again Totti. Challenge comes in from Dunga. Totti to take the second corner of the attack. Decent one as well, whipped in to the heart of the penalty area. Volley clear, but not for long. Here's 𝙎𝙬, keeping it in just. Albertini, great effort. Saved by 𝙎𝙬𝙀𝙎. 𝙎𝙬 now. Couldn't have struck a shot much better, Dimitri Albertini. It was low. They have real pace behind it.
I think it took a deflection as well of 𝙇𝙗𝙀 as it came in. In fact, I think it was George Weah that took the deflection. What a great reaction there from 𝙎𝙬𝙀𝙎.
𝙎𝙬𝙀𝙎 coming up to 350 Serie A appearances and 50 Italian national side caps. Nowhere near the 112 that his current national team coach Dino Zoff earned, but nevertheless a fine record from the Inter Milan number 1. Number 2 in the national side at the moment, thanks to the man at the other end of the field, Angelo Peruzzi. Here's Inzaghi, looking to combine with Totti. 𝙎𝙬𝙀𝙎 can't keep it in. Corner to Italy. Italy 1, the World Stars 11 2. Filippo Inzaghi having given Italy the lead, with Gabriel Batistuta and George Weah fit back for, on the side I was going to say the visitors, I don't suppose that is their term this evening. Here's 𝙎𝙬, comfortably away from Weah. And now the break is on for Rui Costa. Zidane to the left, Ronaldo to the right. Here's Zinedine Zidane. Shoots early. Off the outside of the post. Really good stuff from the world stars now.
Well, the attacking threat is absolutely enormous, isn't it, from the rest of the world? This was a lightning break. Zidane, no hesitation, decided to hit the ball first time. 6 inches the other side, and that would have made it 3-1.
Well, Dino Zoff has been prowling the touchline for a little while, looking a little concerned, and understandably so. More than just a training exercise for his side, his players want to cement places, make it hard for Zoff to drop them for the next Euro 2000 qualifier. And at the moment they're being ripped apart by, well, in all honesty, a side that they're never likely to have to face again, but nevertheless, they've got work to do to get back into it. Here's Di Francesco. Weah takes on Dino Baggio. Challenge from Dunga. Batistuta gets his head in. Now Ronaldo. Rui Costa just let it run away. Baggio again towards Totti. Inzaghi staying forward as the out-and-out frontman Totti, so often coming deep to collect the ball. Now brings in the skipper Maldini. Di Francesco to Totti once again. The back heel too elaborate. Behind Albertini, and then Weah looking for Ronaldo. Shadowed all the way by Nesta. Batistuta too far ahead of Weah. And finally clear from Dimitri Albertini to Baggio to Di Francesco. Nowhere to go.
The Italians still find it difficult. Once they get to that area of the field, they've been given the ball away a bit too easily. And of course the rest of the world side is a team full of the capability of counter-attack. And we've already had 2 or 3 demonstrations of that, and at the moment the Italian side are falling into the trap.
And there is Cannavaro. Totti. 𝙎𝙬 trying to accelerate the pace of the attack. Panucci, only one to aim at. That was Filippo Inzaghi. Never likely to reach him though. Rui Costa. Student of the Graham Souness style of play with Benfica. Italy have it back again with Maldini. Now 𝙇𝙄𝙆𝙀 looking for the run of Inzaghi again. The arrow cuts out that particular move forward. Ronaldo can't reach the pass from Rui Costa.
I think it'd be one thing that Dino Zoff is not particularly thrilled about it. And his midfield, he has Albertini and 𝙇𝙄𝙆𝙀, and neither of those players are capable of going past players with the ball.
Here's Totti, who's capable of shooting, as we've seen, and playing a good ball into the box. And the finish was just a little bit too elaborate from Di Francesco moving in. Totti again, the provider. Well, it could have been left to Inzaghi. Di Francesco went for the trick stuff. If it had gone in, we would have been toasting the finish, but...
Well, if this had been a qualifying game, he would have been shot by now, I think. But I think he's just purely trying to entertain the crowd, and you know, there's nothing lost. As you say, if it had gone in, it would have been a superb goal.
𝙍𝙐𝘽𝙎 preparing to make his entrance for the World 11. That puts things into perspective when they've got 𝙎𝙐𝘽 on the bench. There's Ronaldo looking towards Batistuta. Away with Di Francesco. I'm sure if another opportunity comes his way, he'll opt for the good old-fashioned blast past the keeper.
Yeah, you must learn from your mistakes in this game, Guy.
Here's Maldini looking towards Inzaghi. Or was he looking for the near post? Either way, it was cut out by 𝙎𝙬𝙀. Right then, Trevor, I'll put you in the shoes of Dr. Venglos and Carlos Alberto Pereira. You've got 𝙍𝙐𝙎 waiting to come on, but not just yet, because here's Batistuta. George Weah in support. Still Batistuta. Is he going to lose out to Cannavaro? Being forced wide enough. Manages to get the corner. Who do you take off? We're going to find out just who they're going to take off now.
Well, that's a difficult one.
It's going to be Ronaldo.
Yes, I would have thought Ronaldo.
So Ronaldo leaves the field, having had a run around. Hasn't got a goal. So was instrumental in the second one that George Weah scored, and replaced by 𝙍𝙐𝙎. I wonder if we'll see Ronaldo back again before the end of the evening. Just 𝙎𝙬𝙎 and Batistuta, the two leading scorers at France 98 for Italy to worry about now. In towards 𝙎𝙬𝙎. And just too high for Batistuta. Neati. Vinta. George Weah wants to spread it wide, does just that. Here's Di Maria moving forward on the overlap. Rui Costa looks towards 𝙎𝙬𝙎. Cleared by Panucci this time. Di Francesco for Italy. 𝙇𝙄𝙆𝙀. Perfect for Panucci. Now Totti, great ball. Panucci onside. 𝙇𝙄𝙆𝙀 back in towards the box where 𝙎𝙬𝙆 can tidy up. Away goes Rui Costa now to Zidane. 𝙎𝙬𝙎 to his left. Zidane instead finds Batistuta. Little touch for Rui Costa. And he makes his frustration very evident at that shot, which was very high and wide. Ronaldo gets on with the post-match interview. Looks as if he's enjoyed himself anyway. Good to see him back with a smile on his face, a far cry from the pictures that we saw beamed right around the world on July the 12th. Here's Paolo Maldini, trying his hand at being a winger. Brings in Di Francesco. 𝙎𝙬𝙎 back towards Panucci. lack of noise around the ground has made this almost like a theatre occasion. It's almost as if fans that have come to the Olympic Stadium are sitting back, arms folded, and saying, come on then, you're the stars, entertain us. And 3 goals in 34 minutes isn't a bad tally for starters. Here's Maldini. Totti's touch won't find Di Francesco. It will find Fernando Hierro. Maldino's off. Looks just a little concerned still, Trevor.
Yeah, it's not quite coming off for the Italians. They've had a fair bit of possession. Saw a bit of movement a couple of minutes ago with Panucci getting down on the right-hand side, which is better. But they're very rarely getting into those positions and tend to be losing the ball outside the 18-yard box and not getting good delivery of crosses into the box at the moment.
There's Vinter. Dunga gives it away. Not often as a commentator you have to use that expression. That's more like Dunga. To his compatriot 𝙎𝙆 Maria, and now George Weah. Zidane on the ball. Zidane, who's just been voted World Player of the Year by readers of that illustrious football publication World Soccer magazine. Ronaldo's won it twice before, George Weah once. Now back towards Batistuta, but cut out, uncomfortable for Peruzzi. I suppose that shot sums up the evening rather. Substitutes warming up in front of vast expanses of empty seats. Panucci. Paolo Maldini. Inzaghi making a run across the face of Hierro on the edge of the box. Totti is going to be held up though. Now the burst comes in from Di Francesco, who scores this time with a more orthodox finish. A toe poke past 𝙎𝙺. 2-2, 36 minutes played, and Di Francesco sits on the fence in celebration.
I thought 𝙎𝙺 just done enough to save that from Di Francesco. But obviously not done quite enough. Albertini played a superb ball through. The rest of the world defence caught a little bit flat-footed there. Di Francesco makes his dart in from the left-hand side. Gets his foot to the ball and does enough. And that brings Italy back into the match.
2-2 at the Olympic Stadium. 𝙎𝙺 still made a very gallant effort to save the effort. Of all the players on the field this evening, he just about as much as anybody. He's pulling out all the stops to put in a good performance, Gianluca 𝙎𝙺, but he's been beaten twice, as has Angelo Peruzzi at the other end of the field. And Hierro and Dunga closed down, and away will come Italy once again with Totti. Fuser. Inzaghi the target. Got everything right but the direction. Headed down across the face of goal. But a few yards the wrong side of the post.
Well, they were quick to break there. Once they'd won the ball in midfield, a vital area of the pitch, they were able to move forward quickly. And that's what it ended up with again, and Inzaghi finding himself in space.
He's pulled off the back of 𝙎𝙆 Maria this time. Italy are going to make their first substitution at the first available opportunity. And now is Totti battling away and losing. Weah. Now Batistuta. Away by Maldini. Di Francesco sets off again, runs straight into 𝙎𝙆 Maria this time. Rui Costa looking for 𝙍𝙆𝙀. We've not seen too much of the Croatian so far. And he won't do this time, as Maldini combines well with Cannavaro and Nesta, and now Panucci to get the ball away. Dino Baggio. Dunga. And Rui Costa. Zidane runs into the cul-de-sac. 𝙎𝙬𝙀. 𝙤𝙺𝙎's made a great burst there. Even better ball to Inzaghi. Shadowed every step of the way by 𝙎𝙀. It's an Italian corner as Paolo Negro makes his way onto the field. He replaces Alessandro Nesta. So it's a Lazio defender replacing his Lazio teammate. That decision hasn't gone down too well with the fans. I presume those are Roma fans with the catcalls. And Zidane of Juventus gets the ball away. As far as 𝙤𝙺𝙎. Great ball now. Here's Totti. And Rui Costa will complete the clearance. Offside flag is raised against Inzaghi. Play will go on. And in fact, the referee has called play back for a free kick to the World Stars 11. Weah forward towards Rui Costa. And now George Weah again. Easy for Peruzzi. Never too easy with a ball out like that. Here's Zidane. Batistuta lurks on the very edge of the area. Zidane wants to go himself all the way. Still the attack has momentum until Batistuta's shot brings a goal kick for Angelo Peruzzi. There's Zidane trying to do what Ronaldo did, a couple of step-overs.
Well, the thing with that, Peruzzi knows exactly what Zidane's going to do, but he still can't deal with it. He does it so quickly, so fluidly. The defender finds himself on the back foot, he's bought the dummy and he's passed him.
And that's what led to the second goal for the World Stars 11. Ronaldo with that sort of movement. I wonder if that's what Alessandro Nesta is being asked about down on the touchline at the moment. His view of the goal. Say the goal, we've had 4 of them now. And we've still got 3 minutes to go until the half-time interval. A celebration of Italian football tonight on Eurosport. And Italy level at 2-2 with a star-studded World 11. Zidane. Souquet back towards the Frenchman. Gets out of the challenge well. Pass a little too heavy for Rui Costa. I always get the feeling that this sort of game was made for Zinedine Zidane. So often in fast and furious games that have a great deal more meaning than this, he gets to show his skills, he shows why he's undoubtedly one of the greatest in the world, but he also carries himself as if he can't be altogether too bothered with some aspects of the game, Trevor. But in this game, he gets to show the full range of his skills without having to overexert himself.
Yeah, he's one of these players who, funnily enough, can sometimes appear quite awkward, yet we know he's got so much skill and so much ability. And he's a big man as well, but his balance is absolutely second to none.
Italy now with 𝙎𝙺, shooting opportunity for the Parma man. Oh, that's a great finish from Diego 𝙎𝙺. Didn't seem to be much on. He waited and waited for the ball to drop. And 𝙎𝙺 saw about as much of that as we did in the stands.
You're right, absolutely right there, Guy. He's taken this ball down on his chest. And I thought Aaron Vinta was just going to make it back. But obviously not fast enough. 𝙎𝙺 got a fingertip to it, I believe. But that was a super shot from 𝙎𝙺. I've seen him do that on numerous occasions. He does strike a good volley.
Just get the feeling, looking at the replay, that if this was a full-blooded Serie A encounter, Inter Milan against Parma, Vinta may have been a little more committed with the block tackle. Nevertheless, it's goals we came to see, and 5 goals we've had in the first half. Long may it continue. Wouldn't mind seeing a few more spicy tackles as well, though.
I don't think there's much chance of that, actually, but the goals quality has been excellent, hasn't it? It's showed some real skill amongst the players. We know that they're absolutely outstanding players, but sometimes it's always difficult to deliver what the fans here expect, what viewers expect. But certainly this evening we've seen a whole host of skills displayed.
There's 𝙎𝙬𝙎𝘎, out-battled this time by Di Francesco. The Mexican Hernandez and the Chilean Marcelo Salas have begun to warm up as we approach half-time. There is Salas, joined now by Guerrero of Spain and Athletic Bilbao. 1 minute of time to be added on at the end of the first half, so friendly exhibition match though it may be, still sticking to FIFA regulations, injury time must be played.
Yeah, token gesture I think from the officials there.
Foul in favour of Pippo Inzaghi. 𝙎𝙬𝙎𝘎 to Zidane. Rui Costa looking for Weah. We're going to have a sixth goal before the break. Batistuta couldn't take it in his stride. Panucci and Peruzzi tidy up for Italy. And the half-time whistle blown by Monsieur Arel of France, our referee this evening, who's had very little to take issue with, as you might expect in a game of this nature. And we've got very little to complain about. A lack of tackles maybe, that was never going to be likely though. But we have had 5 quality goals, Trevor.
Yeah, some super stuff, some great players on display, and we've seen some great skills from them. And we'll have to see if Dino Zoff moves things around into the second half. But I certainly enjoyed that first half, some great goals.
Filippo Inzaghi, Eusebio Di Francesco and Diego Fusé for Italy. Gabriel Batistuta and 𝙎𝙬𝙎𝘎, the scorers for the FIFA World Stars 11. Myself and Trevor are going off to get a cap. The front two, Totti and Inzaghi, have been particularly impressive.
Yeah, Totti's on the ball a lot, and he plays upside alongside, that's Totti there, plays upside alongside Inzaghi, but drops off into midfield areas where he can't be picked up. Inzaghi picks up great holes to run into, albeit that 𝙎𝙎 and 𝙎𝙎 is not the best central defensive partnership you could put together, but Inzaghi's making the best of it, and he's making them look a little bit weak at times.
Having said that, 𝙎𝙎's not had a bad game at the heart of the World Stars defence. I think it's those around him that are not making his job any easier. And in attack, you can just take your pick as to who's been impressive. They've all done little bits for us. They're all tried their party pieces.
Exactly. Everybody's has contributed, I think. The midfields are quite interesting. The Italian midfield with Albertini and Dino Baggio up against George Weah of all people. It was quite unusual to see him wearing the number 7 shirt and playing in midfield.
And for that young man, a night to treasure for the rest of his life. Francesco Totti. And a photo opportunity. Just looking at the World Stars 11 with a back on the field. Well, there are quite a few changes. I can see 2 immediately. Marcelo Salas is on the field of Chile and Lazio. The Mexican striker Hernandez is also out there. Salas is wearing number 17, Hernandez wears 15. And there we go, we get a different sort of kick-off to the start of the second half. That's nice, and that's really what this evening is all about. Absolutely.
The ground has been full of the underprivileged children, handicapped children. They've been here in the numbers, and that's down to the Italian FA who've made that all happen for these young children tonight.
I'm sure that particular young man will be pretty overwhelmed by it all. Even you, Trevor, you played with the best, but you found it quite awe-inspiring to be on the pitch with the likes of Batistuta, I know, before the start of the action here. So 𝙎𝙎𝙎𝘎 is in goal for the World Stars 11 for the start of the second half, which we get underway now. So far, it's been all pretty relaxed, but very entertaining stuff. Here's 𝙎𝙆. We'll just have a look and see which players have been replaced to allow Salas and Hernandez to take the field. Guerrero, the Spaniard of Athletic Bilbao, is also on there, as is number 20, Oliver Bierhoff of AC Milan and Germany. So wholesale changes. We haven't had any notification as to which four have made way for them. You can see that 𝙍𝙆 is still on the field. What we can tell you straight away is that Gabriel Batistuta is one of those who isn't. George Weah likewise. Here is 𝙎𝙆 and now Hernandez. I think there's 𝙎𝙆 again. Maldini's tackle. Haven't been quite so many changes as far as Italy are concerned, although you can see the number 17, Jonathan Bacchini, on there. And Moreno Torricelli has also taken his place, as well as Del Vecchio. Would have helped us if we'd had notification up here in the stands at the Olympic Stadium. Pretty relaxed for us as well. Here's 𝙎𝙎. Up towards Del Vecchio. First touch for the Roma striker. Turn for the Lazio fans to boo. And an attacking opportunity might just find Totti in a good position. It's cut out by Niati. Corner to Italy. George Weah is still on the field in a rather more defensive role, and he's just stroked the ball out towards the corner flag. It's going to be Francesco Totti to take this corner for Italy. Maldini has made his way forward. Sandro Cois there as well. Panucci is the target. Away by Weah. Moving forward now is Bacchini. The strong tackle comes in for Negro. And away will go Hierro towards Bierhoff. Hernandez. 𝙎𝙆. Looking towards Marcelo Salas, but too much weight on the ball. Easy for Buffon, reserve goalkeeper. One for Peruzzi at half-time. It's intended for Del Vecchio. Got the touch. But Hierro realised that he was going nowhere apart from out of bounds. Del Vecchio is looking pretty sprightly since replacing Inzaghi at half-time as the out-and-out striker. Now the flag is raised. Del Vecchio won't get the chance to open the scoring for the second half. And I think that's only the second offside we've had all evening. And French officials have been getting into the spirit of things too. Guerrero. Now Dunga. Offside surely Bierhoff by a good 5 or 6 yards.
Now that you've said we've only had 2, we're going to get 22, I think, within the next 5 minutes.
Maldini brings in Cois. Just too much pace on the ball for Bacchini. And the second half starting in a very similar pattern to the first. It's almost a new game we've got here, just about 2 new sides on show. We'll have to wait for the players to get warmed up before they start showing us their individual tricks, the likes of Marcelo Salas in particular. Looking forward to seeing him in action when the pressure's off. There he is, and giving it away. Lazio, incidentally, the club for whom Salas plays, and that man there, 𝙎𝙎, used to play, have been drawn against Panionios of Athens in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup. That draw held earlier today. So Ronnie Whelan, the manager of Panionios, will be coming here to the Olympic Stadium. British involvement in the form of Chelsea, at home to the Norwegian side Vålerenga. And while there's nothing much happening in this game, Trevor, we should just mention that one. Chelsea against Vålerenga. We saw Vålerenga against Besiktas in the last round. Besiktas of Turkey, managed by John Toshak. Might seem a quite comfortable draw for 𝙍𝙆𝙀𝙎𝙀 Vialli's side, but we know from first-hand experience that the Norwegians, although they might go behind, they won't give up.
Yeah, the stairs, that's for sure, but I think it's a draw that 𝙍𝙆𝙀𝙎𝙀 Vialli will be quite happy with. I think he'll have every faith in his team to come through on that one.
I thought 𝙍𝙆𝙀𝙎 Vialli might have fancied playing in this game. Manchester United, of course, will face Inter Milan, I'm sure you already know, in the quarter-finals of the Champions League. Here's Totti, trying to break past 𝙎𝙎𝙀𝙎. Covering defender at the back was 𝙎𝙎𝙀𝙎. Dunga gives it straight away to 𝙎𝙬𝙎, and the whistle blown. Handball given against the Fiorentina midfielder. Fiorentina with Tomicelli and 𝙎𝙬𝙎 in the Italian national squad for this game. Batistuta, of course, playing for the world's Stars 11. And Giovanni Trapattoni's side still leading the way in Serie A. Surprise leaders in many ways. It's a player that we didn't take a particular shine to during the World Cup, Trevor, that's been leading the way along with Batistuta. Edmundo of Brazil has been scoring a few goals and, more importantly, creating even more for Batistuta. Better player than he showed at times in France.
Yeah, it just shows what we know anyway, doesn't it?
Had about 20 minutes of substitute involvement during the World Cup. What did he do in those 20 minutes? Stood on the ball, all sorts of carrying on. Showing his true colours in the violet of Fiorentina this season. Here's 𝙎𝙎𝙀𝙎. Bierhoff. Now Guerrero. Dunga. Looking towards Hernandez. Comfortably shackled by Maldini. Good skills there from Bacchini. Combining with 𝙎𝙬𝙎. And now forward towards Francesco Totti. It's a good movement this from Italy. Back in towards Del Vecchio. Not a convincing defensive header, but away nevertheless. Well brought down by Totti. Only Del Vecchio in the centre. He's the target, Del Vecchio! Caught late by 𝙎𝙆𝙀𝙀. Hardly in the spirit of the game, the challenge for the FC Zurich goalkeeper, but excellent play from the Roma strike partnership of Totti and Del Vecchio.
Yeah, Totti does this exceptionally well. He's had a great first touch there to kill the ball dead, and he puts that ball in so well to Del Vecchio. Swings it in with pace, and it's accurate. Del Vecchio knew exactly where to do, pull off the last defender, make himself a yard, and couldn't quite get that finishing touch.
Just been looking down at the World Stars lineup while you were talking there, Trevor, trying to work out where George Weah's playing. He's left back at the moment and he's being taken on by Tomasi. And he's not done badly. Out of play for a Torricelli throw. Looks as though Enrico Chiesa is going to come onto the field. Just trying to work out who's left in the first half in terms of the Italian side. And there's another one leaving the field. Francesco Totti's work is done for the evening. So on comes Chiesa. Maldini's left out there. Christian Panucci at right back. Diego Fuser. And that, I think, is about your lot.
There was always going to be wholesale changes. I think that's important. keep all the players involved and don't tire them out too much for their clubs come the weekend.
And a change for the World 11 as well. Hidetoshi Nakata of Japan and Perugia has replaced Fernando Hierro, and a generous round of applause for Nakata. Generally said that when he plays, Perugia have half a chance of winning the Serie A games, and he's not just popular with those supporters, he's made himself a really big name all around Italy. There's 𝙎𝙬𝙎𝘎 looking to bring in 𝙎𝙬𝙎. Should be comfortably tidied up by 𝙎𝙬𝙎𝘎, all rather casual in the goal mouth. Hernandez away. We just had the official attendance handed to us, 21,352, so the ground only just a little over a quarter full. And those that have come have not regretted their decision on a cold Rome evening in December. Here now is 𝙤𝙀𝙎 for Italy. Closed down by Dunga. Dunga likewise closed down by Del Vecchio. Here's 𝙤𝙀𝙎 again. Del Vecchio, great chance here. It was a good challenge from Weah. Made the Roma striker shoot early. Weah coming across and getting the block and putting Del Vecchio off. Corner to Italy. Here's the end result. 𝙎𝙬𝙎. 𝙎𝙬𝙎's got his head to it. Del Vecchio challenged by Hernandez. Still not away. Maldini back in. And what about that for a finish? The tightest of angles for Enrico Chiesa. But he's made it 4-2 nevertheless, squeezing it home past 𝙎𝙬𝙎. Credit goes to Paolo Maldini for the ball back into the danger zone. He saw Chiesa making the run, and Chiesa did the rest.
Yeah, took up a good position. Maldini did well to put the ball back into the danger area. And Enrico Chiesa has just done enough. He just got on goal. 𝙎𝙬𝙎 perhaps could be criticised for not covering his near post, but it's one of those, he took a chance, thought it was coming back across goal and didn't, and Chiesa gets himself on the score sheet.
When we look in the centre as well, you've got to put some question marks over the world stars defending. Too motionless as Maldini's ball just cleared their heads. And they let Chiesa run into the box unchallenged. Have they got any orthodox defenders left on the field now, the World Stars 11? They've got David Neati of South Africa. He's back there, and I think that is about it. Even replacing Hierro with Nakata. Cross in from Dunga. And cross out from Dunga. With the goal kick for Italy. I wouldn't say some of the sting has been taken out of the game. There was never likely to be any sting in this sort of affair, but something is lacking that we had in the first half.
Yeah, likes of Ronaldo and Batistuta. Yeah, it does make it, obviously, it's a big difference. Zidane as well, not playing anymore. We've got nobody really pulling the strings like Zidane did in the first half, and the Italians can now just relax a little bit, start playing the football, not under the threat that they were in that first half against those extreme quality players.
And just at the moment, it looks as though the World Stars 11 are playing a 3-2-5 formation. And at the heart of that back three is George Weah.
Well, if the Italians can be bothered to move around a bit, I dread to think what that defence is going to look like by the end of this 45 minutes.
Just too high for Del Vecchio. There was no flag, and 𝙎𝙬𝙎𝙎 has kept the score at 4-2, somehow blocking the shot from Chiesa.
That was an unbelievable save, wasn't it?
Didn't know too much about it. Question marks again about the lack of an offside flag. Cross comes in from the corner, and 𝙎𝙬𝙎𝙎's there again.
That was a fabulous save, wasn't it? And Chiesa, from literally 3 metres from goal, didn't hit it that weakly, but 𝙎𝙺𝘀𝙎𝘀 was made himself a tremendous save there, reflex save.
João Pinto with Benfica, the latest player to begin his stretching exercises on the bench. João Pinto, the only unused substitute for the world stars so far this evening. And here come Italy once more with Chiesa. This time doesn't want to overexert himself in trying to get on and onto the end of the ball. And it's away through 𝙎𝙺. Back it will come though. 𝙎𝙺 brings down Hernandez. Hair tied back in trademark style, the Mexican.
Bit unfortunate so far, we've not really seen a great deal of Salas and 𝙎𝙺. They've not really had the service from the midfield for the rest of the world. So it's a bit of a waste of their talents. If they'd been on in the first half with Zidane giving them good ball to run onto, what a threat they would be.
Looking forward to seeing Nakata in action as well, but he's been a lost soul on the left side of midfield so far.
Yeah, he's more or less in the left back position as George Weah was in prior to that. And
𝙎𝙺𝘀 and Weah get the wires crossed and give away another throw into Italy. This one to be taken by Paolo Maldini. It's the turn of Fabio Cannavaro to face the cameras in the meantime. A lot of attention focused off the field as well. Here goes Fusé. Could we have another goal on it? Chiesa looking to try and bring in Tomasi. Enrico Chiesa has touched the ball 3 times, scored once, been denied by an amazing reflex reaction from 𝙎𝙺𝘀𝙎𝙺, and then very nearly creating a goal for Tomasi, and then 𝙎𝙺 in action again to deny Del Vecchio. Dunga looking towards Nakata. Finally, he gets involved. The Japanese star finds Guerrero. Now Salas. 𝙎𝙺 wants the ball. Here's Nakata. 𝙎𝙺 now will go for the header, but even he, with all his aerial prowess, can't climb high enough for that one. And Dunga loses out now. Fortunately for the world stars, it's retrieved by Hernandez. 𝙎𝙺 now. 𝙎𝙺. Back towards Dunga. Fired in towards Salas. And quite comfortable for Gianluigi Buffon. Dunga's disappointed me, to be honest, Trevor, because you see so much of him, or we did do during the summer in the World Cup, and hardly saw him waste a ball, but I would say he's given it away as much as he's found a teammate in possession tonight.
Well, he's playing in the Japanese league now, and you might think that
well, every game's like this for him then.
Well, his standards may have just come down that little bit, but he's been a player of great value to Brazil over many, many years. And I mean, he's still out there, he's still plugging away.
The sort of player you'd expect to see joining the goal-scoring festivities. Away by Buffon. Further away by Tomasi. Now Salas. The Roma fans whistle, the Lazio fans cheer in anticipation of something special from Salas. Judging by the difference in volumes, there are more whistles. I would suggest there are more Roma fans inside the Olympic Stadium this evening. Certainly more of their players involved in the action at the moment with the Italian national side. As another change is about to be made, it's going to be João Pinto of Benfica and Portugal. He's coming on for the world stars, and for Italy, we're going to see Gianluca Pessotto of Juventus. He's going to replace Maldini. And Dunga finally does make way for João Pinto. He takes the captain's armband, but thus far has declined to wear it. Is he going to give it to 𝙎𝙺𝙺? It looks as though that might be the case. Play restarts. It will be a goal kick for Gianluigi Buffon to take. Diego Fusar has taken up the captain's armband for Italy. I suppose quite fitting, as he's now the only player in a blue shirt that started the game that's still on the field. Bonucci there as well at right back. Thank you, Trevor, for that one. 9 substitutions in all. José Maria brings in Suquin. Again, José Maria, the Brazilian, and 𝙎𝙺 Pinto wasn't able to turn to get the ball even distinctly goal-bound. Goal kick to Italy. Now 21 minutes played in the second half at the Olympic Stadium. Italy 4, the World Stars 2. Just one more goal to add to the 5-goal first half feast. It came from Parma's Enrico Chiesa. He could have had a second since, denied by FC Zurich goalkeeper 𝙎𝙺𝙺𝘍𝙬 for the World 11. We're moving forward now in the form of Oliver Bierhoff. He's going to be beaten to the ball though. Defending done by Paulo Negro.
The game has gone exceedingly flat now, and just need both teams just to apply themselves a bit better. Just let the quality of the game drift a little bit.
Just looking down at the World 11 bench, and there is nobody on it. I was rather hoping we might see Ronaldo or perhaps Batistuta or Zidane come back into the fray for a final fling, but I think they've got changed already. Free kick to the rest of the world. It's Julen Guerrero of Athletic Bilbao in Spain. He's the recipient.
And particularly for the Italian players, that they can take this opportunity to shine a little bit. It's worthwhile them digging in, find a little bit of extra energy, and produce something that Dino Zoff's going to remember them for. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be thinking along that line.
Particularly these players now on the field in the second half, very much a fringe Italians team out on the pitch at the moment. Of all those that have come on, well, you can say Chiesa because he's got his goal, and the hard-working Roma striker Del Vecchio, they're particularly impressed. And now is Sandro Cois of Fiorentina. Making the break down the left-hand side is Pessotto. Won't reach him just yet. Bacchini. Now it is Pessotto, back towards Bacchini. Guerrero to Bierhoff, and back to the Spaniard. Cut out by Cois. Guerrero. 𝙎𝙺 Pinto. Pessotto won't bother enlisting the assistance of goalkeeper Buffon. Instead brings in Torricelli. Here's Chiesa. Showed a little too much of that to Nakata, and Nayati is able to come away with the ball.
One thing you can't say about the Italians is that despite all those substitutions they've made, they're still playing exactly the same formation that they started with, which is quite an indication as to the planning of Dino Zoff. He's going to stick with the 4-4-2 system, play two up front, but one of those two, whether it be Totti, whether it be Chiesa, whether it be somebody like Roberto Baggio, for instance.
Here's Fusar now bursting through and missing the target, and that's the miss of the match tonight. Fusar's had an excellent game down the right-hand side of the Italian midfield. Burst clear then. The World 11 defence just ripped open by some slick passing. but the finish didn't live up to the build-up.
Good movement, good passing. Doesn't take a great deal to open this rest of the world defence up.
I say defence, there's only two of them. Ball forward towards Guerrero. Dunga's turn to face the microphone.
As I was saying before, the formation is very much rock solid with Dino Zoff. Expects those two players up front, one of them to come deep, other one to make runs towards goal, and he'll sit with a simple four in midfield, with the creativeness coming from the wide positions.
Arguably the best striker of the lot, currently out with a long-term injury. Lazio start Christian Vieri would be very much the out-and-out frontman. Should he be fit? And another man on the sick list, Alessandro Del Piero. We've already seen what Inzaghi can do tonight. Totti, Del Vecchio. There's Vieri and Del Piero injured. I think the state of Italian front plate is very much alive and well.
Yeah, they've got a lot of quality. I think they're very similar to the types of players, though. You know, that forward running player, Inzaghi, Vieri, that type of player. Then you've got Del Piero, you've got Chiesa, we've got on at the moment, and we've got Totti, who again is that type of player. You know, so it's you tend to breed them in a certain kind of way.
Nayati gives it away to Panucci. He beats Nakata with ease. And then a touch from Chiesa to Del Vecchio. Chance for Del Vecchio. And a good challenge from that established central defender, George Weah.
He's trying to impress somebody, George Weah, isn't he? That was a superb ball through there. Del Vecchio making ground, looked favourite, but George Weah determined to make Del Vecchio have a blanks all evening, I think.
Corner for Italy. Fuser takes, and over the top the header. Panucci was up there, and 𝙎𝙬𝙆 watched it sail over. Well, there's been plenty of talk of George Weah being unhappy at AC Milan and finally wanting a move. Perhaps he's just wanting a change of position. I wouldn't have thought that was the decision of either Dr. Venglos or Carlos Alberto Pereira to put him back there, but when a player of Weah's stature says, I want to play at the back second half, you don't really have much to argue about. Surely one of the most skillful defenders that ever was. Soto beaten by the roll of the ball. Italy, just like England and all the rest of the Euro 2000 qualifying sides, waiting for their next burst of action in March in the new year. Denmark against Italy on the 27th. There they go again. Some of these players will want to be involved in that one. All of them will want to be, and that's a good save again from 𝙎𝙬𝙆 to deny Bacchini this time. He's a player that's looked sharp since coming off the bench, and perhaps the best performer of all as a substitute is that man that made the save, 𝙎𝙬𝙆. Weah clears. Kois beaten by Nakata. And it's Bierhoff weaving his way out of defence. Great ball to Salas. João Pinto in support. Still Salas. Boos from the Roma fans. Salas trying to go all the way through the Italy defence. And he was denied by a good strong challenge from Damiano Tomasi, which left a bitter taste in the mouth and allowed Del Vecchio to break away. Mistake though from the Roma man. The Lazio fans get their revenge for the abuse dished out to Salas. Well, that might just liven things up a bit of Roman rivalry in the crowd. Forward towards João Pinto. Salas again. He's looking for Suker, who's been pretty much anonymous since he replaced Ronaldo some 20 minutes into the match. Perhaps he'll get involved. No way through though. Away will go 𝙎𝙀 for Italy. A bit of space at last, and a bit more pace about the game again. 𝙎𝙬𝙎. Chance now for 𝙍𝙬𝙎. It didn't find him though. The pass was poor from Tommasi. And away will come the World 11 again. It's opening up once more with 30 minutes of the second half played. Here's Guerrero. Hernandez. Weah. Is he going to try something special, George Weah? Is he going to try and walk through the lot of them? Support from 𝙎𝙎. 𝙎𝙎 goes for goal. Save from Buffon.
Better stop there from the rest of the world. George Weah coming forward, getting on to shoot, dumbing the play and creating an opportunity there for 𝙎𝙎.
I was rather hoping we might see George Weah try one of those wonder goals again where he weaves his way around 5 or 6 defenders and slots the ball into the net, but perhaps that's just a once-in-a-lifetime effort. This is the sort of match to try it in, surely. Or maybe not. Nobody will be impressed in this sort of game. Do it when the action really matters. Now Pinto lets the ball roll out. Casotto. Torricelli. Panucci closed down by Salas. Well, the cat calls from the Roma fans are only serving to fire up Marcelo Salas, which is a good thing for us neutrals. The Roma supporters in the crowd are demonstrating that we aren't all neutrals in the Olympic Stadium this evening. Flicked on towards 𝙎𝙎, but the flag was raised well before it got to the German international skipper, and Buffon clears. 𝙍𝙬𝙎 on the charge from 𝙎𝙀's clearance. Only Chiesa in the centre, now 𝙎𝙬𝙎. Little flat-footed there was Tommasi. Hernandez. 𝙎𝙬𝙎 making the break down the right, and Hernandez bisected 𝙎𝙬𝙎 and 𝙎𝙎 perfectly. Oliver 𝙎𝙎 has been offside 4 or 5 times in this second half, more than any other player in the entire match. And he doesn't look like he's enjoying himself too much.
Yeah, he's probably trying too hard now to get involved in the game because the rest of the world not having a great deal of possession. Even the Italian team losing their way as well at the moment.
Here's João Pinto. Little live wire from Portugal. Flag raised again against 𝙎𝙬𝙎. The play will continue with Panucci. 𝙎𝙬𝙎. Change of pace to get away from the challenge of Salas. Now 𝙎𝙎𝙎 goes on, combining well with Tommasi. The challenge from 𝙎𝙎𝙎. He's grown in stature as the game's gone on. Away will go Hernandez. Salas. Didn't work with 𝙎𝙎𝙎 that time. 𝙎𝙎𝙎. The best pass he's ever played, but 𝙎𝙎𝙎 adjusted well. On the overlap is Pasotto. 𝙎𝙎𝙎 going straight towards goal. Helped out by Chiesa. Now Diego 𝙎𝙎𝙎. Great chance building up here. Tommasi. And scrambled in somehow by Enrico Chiesa, who scores the second goal of the second half and makes it Italy 5, the FIFA World Stars 11 2. 5 quality goals in the first half. 2 rather bundled goals from Enrico Chiesa since the restart.
No, as simple as that, really. I think once the Italian side really put their minds to it, then the opportunities will come. Tomassi, not the best ball across 𝙎𝙺𝙎𝙀, just getting his toe to it, putting it into the path of Enrico Chiesa, who could barely miss.
Italy 5, the World Stars 2. Our scoreboard corrects itself. 10 minutes of play to go at the Olympic Stadium in Rome. Here's George Weah now. That's confirmation of the goal scorers. João Pinto. I suppose it has to end in an Italy win anyway. It's their 100th birthday. 𝙎𝙺𝙎𝙀 won't quite get that, and for the first time this evening there's a bit of singing from the fans, and looking across towards the Curva Nord behind Gianluigi Buffon's goal. The fans are gathering to celebrate Italian football in typical Italian ultra supporters style, and a bit of singing. Well, that's going to make things a bit more interesting for us towards the last few minutes. João Pinto trying to do that on the field, but denied by Torricelli. Bacchini up towards Chiesa, looking for a hat-trick now. Weah away. Now Hernandez. He's decided to play up the back for a while.
It has become no more than a training exercise now for these players. Most of them out of position, certainly in the rest of the world side. The Italian side still trying to stick to their formula.
Good challenge from 𝙎𝙺𝙎𝙀. Chiesa trying to combine with Tomassi, and 𝙎𝙺𝙎𝙀 denied Chiesa the chance to run on goal and get his hat-trick. Here's 𝙎𝙺𝙎𝙀 now. Down under challenge from Bacchini. Humps the ground in frustration. I get the feeling that Oliver 𝙎𝙺𝙎𝙀 really isn't at one with the occasion tonight. Already get on with the really important job of the evening. Here's 𝙎𝙺𝙎𝙀 again. Hernandez. Now 𝙎𝙺𝙎𝙀. That's better. It's Salas. 𝙎𝙺𝙎𝙀 won't get the return though. More for him to be frustrated about, and I think that's the first half smile we've seen from Dino Zoff tonight. Del Vecchio. Denied by Salas at the expense of an Italy throw. And Gianluca Pesotto will take that throw in. Tomassi. He did well there, beating the Carter for strength and speed. The cross doesn't look too bad. Del Vecchio flinging himself at the ball. Weah and 𝙎𝙺𝙎𝙀 managing to get it away, and Del Vecchio took a knock for his trouble. As Ronaldo looks on, no more than an interested spectator now. 𝙎𝙺𝙎𝙀 came in with a challenge, not enough to put Tomassi off though. That was the best cross that he's put in from wide.
Yeah, it's the best bit of action we've seen. Best bit of action we've seen from Tomassi. He's not really done a great deal on the right-hand side. It certainly looks as if he's got some real pace there once he got into his stride. And as you say, it was the best ball that he's put in.
Di Maria just caught the falling Del Vecchio. Here's 𝙎𝙺𝙎𝙀. 5-2, 5.5 minutes of normal time remaining. I would like to see something just a little bit out of the ordinary to finish off the game.
That's exactly what we're waiting for, just somebody to do the unexpected. Bit of special skill. More likely to see it from one of the Italian players, I think.
I was just thinking, Trevor, if I was playing for the World 11, I might be tempted. Nothing to lose, nobody to impress particularly. Just to try something, try running through the lot of them. Some of them have the talent out there to do it.
And why not, and why not? But the other thing is the Italian defenders, I don't think they'll stand for that.
I'll give them a bit of a whack for being so impudent on the way. There's Pasotto losing his way. And Nakata. No Guerrero. 𝙎𝙬𝙺 making a break. Bringing in Salas. We might have seen that had the gentleman we've just seen in the stands still been on the field. Ronaldo. Hernandez. 𝙎𝙬𝙺 is itching to get forward again. Have to get back quickly though. Here's Chiesa. 𝙬𝙺 ahead of him. On the right is Tomasi in acres of space. Great chance for Tomasi. Goalkeeper's missed it. Chiesa has got his hat-trick. Well, there's a storyline anyway. Enrico Chiesa on as a half-time substitute. All 3 second-half goals for the Parma hitman. 6-2, Italy lead.
Well, he won't score an easier hat-trick, I don't think. 2 would definitely be considered as tap-ins as that is. His first goal, perhaps the goalkeeper should have had it, but he won't be complaining. Tomasi released on the right-hand side. Not a save that 𝙎𝙬𝙺 will be particularly pleased with.
Rebounded back off the goalkeeper's knees. Straight to Enrico Chiesa. 6-2, well, he'll go down in the history books. Whether the game means a great deal or not, it does in the annals of Italian football history. A game to celebrate 100 years of passionate football fervour in Italy and at the Olympic Stadium. Enrico Chiesa has scored a hat-trick at the birthday party. Here's 𝙎𝙺. Tomasi saw Bonucci fly by on the overlap. He gets involved now. 𝙬𝙺 waiting. He deserves a goal for his efforts in the second half. Scoreboards at either end of the Olympic Stadium tell the story. Inzaghi, Di Francesco, 𝙎𝙺, Chiesa, Chiesa, Chiesa. The 6 Italian goal scorers, Batistuta and 𝙎𝙺, for the world stars, who led 2-1 after going a goal down. There is hat-trick hero Chiesa. Now 𝙎𝙺. 𝙬𝙺. Chiesa nicks it away from Nakata. Negro. Torricelli. 𝙎𝙬𝙺. No doubt about the free kick that the Portuguese international has won there from Bacchini. Clumsy challenge from behind. 𝙎𝙺 now. No way through for the African. Makes his way up to the edge of the box as Hernandez takes up possession. Still Hernandez, he's done well against Bacchini. Cross too close to Buffon. Still Dino's off, doesn't look happy even though his side have scored 6. It's strange to think that the next team to visit Italy, as we look at 1 minute of time to be added on at the end of the game, not just a token gesture. Next team to visit Italy for an international match is on the 31st of March next year. It's Belarus. It won't be quite the array of stars that the World 11 have brought to the Olympic Stadium in Rome. It may be a similar result though.
Well, you would think that the Italians are going to be extremely strong on the home ground. I mean, this is no real test, no real game to judge them by. But you can certainly see what Dino's off is trying to do with his team. And he's building around that formation, that 4-4-2 formation. And he's not going to stray too far from that.
on top of Euro 2000 qualifying Group 1 at the moment. Played 2-1-2, scored 4, not conceded. They've beaten Wales 2-0. Goals from Fuser and Vieri. They've beaten Switzerland 2-0 with a brace from Del Piero. Next up, as we said, a trip to Denmark. Wales are just behind them, level on points with 6, but they've played a game more. They've started Euro 2000 qualifying very well indeed, and undoubtedly, as usual, would be among the favourites for that tournament in the Low Countries. And our referee, Monsieur Rémi Harel from France, have decided that that's enough for the evening of celebrations at the Olympic Stadium in Rome. Italy 6, a World Stars 11, 2 is the final score. 8 goals, a first half of real skills, and 5 goals. Second half saw a hat-trick from Chiesa, but little else, Trevor Stephen.
Yeah, first half I was very impressed with, saw some good goals, some great play all around. Second half, the game died out somewhat, but still enjoyable. It's a joy to see likes of Battistuta, Ronaldo, Zidane, all on the same field. The Italians got the result they wanted though. It was their night, it was their celebration. Good result for them, I suppose.
So the players